Mexico Pavilion just screams fun. France Pavilion, to me, screams hoity-toity.
Are we missing an entire ice cream shop in France as well? I think we are. You're sounding
right?
like a little bit of a francophobe right now.
I think a churro is going to beat a brioche bun all day long, man.
I think that's weak sauce. You're pulling out the churro argument.
You're pulling out the brioche bun argument. Come on, man.
Yeah, I am.
Come on,
it's a great argument.
This podcast was brought to you by The Magic Candle Company. Relive your favorite theme park memories through the magical sense of smell. Receive 15% off at checkout by using discount code DEBATE and help our channel in the process.
Welcome, everybody, to our 7th episode of Diz or That, a Disney debate podcast. My name is Justin.
And I am Chris, and today we have picked a fun topic.
Yes.
Very fun topic. We are taking a little bit of a ride to Epcot.
Epcot, baby.
By Skyliner. We are not taking the bus, not taking the monorail. We are taking my preferred method of transport. And we're going to Epcot, and we're going to have a little bit of a pavilion battle today.
Pavilion battle. We definitely think this is going to be a format that we're going to keep kind of coming back to. We've had this little bit of an idea, and I think it's going to be fun with the amount of pavilions that they have, with the amount of combinations that we can kind of match up things head to head. I think it's going to be really cool. There are some obvious, I feel like, debates that you can have, and today I don't think is the most obvious one. I think that there might be some other ones that might be a little more obvious, but this one I think is really, really good. I think they're going to be fairly evenly matched. I think there's going to be areas of edge for either one of them, so it'll be interesting. But today, we are fighting the Mexico Pavilion versus the France Pavilion. Chris, which one you got?
Well, first off, I'm going with France, but I don't know if this would have been an obvious head-to-head for a lot of people, too. When I told Katie that we were going to be doing this, she was a little bit shocked, but then she sat on it a little bit, and then she's like, yeah, that makes sense. When you're looking at, each part, each feature that a pavilion has, I think this is actually a better battle than most people probably think.
Yeah, I definitely think that, the obvious one would have been, an unfair fight. The obvious battle, I think, at least if you're going to keep Mexico in this, is versus Canada. The two that start everything off. It seems like that is the most fair, or the one that most people would go to, but it's really not. I don't think it's a fair battle. I don't think it's a fair battle to at least start this off on. I think that France is a little more equally matched for something like this. There are some other points, and I don't want to give any points to France over there, but there are some other ones where I feel like maybe more people might think Norway might be a better pavilion to go up head to head with France, and I think that is a battle we'll have at some point. But I think when you kind of consider all elements of what a pavilion is, I think Mexico's got what it takes to take on France, and I think France, I don't think it necessarily has what it takes to take on Mexico, but we're going to try. Chris is going to try. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the Mexico Pavilion, is kind of all talk. It 100% is. Everyone goes early. Everyone goes there for one reason. But I will say I do like all of them. I know I say every fight we do that. But we always
preface every conversation with, we really like Disney, and I think people know from the start we're big fans of the Disney parks.
I like Epcot.
Yes.
I like Epcot specifically. Of course, the Disney parks, but I like Epcot. It's where I spend a lot of my time. Every time I go to Disney, if we're doing a weekend at Disney, I'm going to Epcot at least one. If I'm just going for a one day, we're probably going to be going to Epcot. Not just because of the food and drinks, but because probably the food and drinks. Yeah, primarily.
I mean, I think it definitely has. I mean, it's kind of unarguable that it has the best food and drink in all of the Disney parks.
Well, of course.
But then what you also have on top of it is like maybe they don't have the most thrilling rides, maybe they don't have the best dark rides, I don't know. But like they still have them, and they still have very, very quality experiences that you can have in some of the other parks, but they're, you know, along with the food, along with the drinks, like it just makes sense.
Yeah,
if you're an adult
I
and
think
you want to spend one day at the parks, Epcot's
ride-wise
kind of the place
too,
to do it.
Ride-wise, I think they have come quite a long way.
Sure.
And with the addition of Guardians, I think they
that
really...
is true. You really have to remember, because I thought originally in my head, I was like, the one thing that they don't have is kind of the thrill side of stuff that you might get at more like a Hollywood Studios, but like Guardians, man, like that is the most thrilling am I or am I not gonna hurl at the end of this ride.
It's
so
Disney's
like,
best ride.
Yeah.
It's Disney's
100%.
best ride that they have right now. Yeah, definitely. At least at Disney World. I think it's the best one.
When you put something like that in the mix with, you know, obviously you have your test tracks of the world, but like, come on, man. And I know it's basic, and I know everybody does it, and I know that it's not a meme at all, but like Spaceship Earth is one of the greatest experiences ever crafted. So like going
cool.
on that
That's
ride
cool.
in itself, like as far as dark rides go, that is an incredible dark ride. So you have both the thrill and the dark ride portion of stuff. You have a whole aquarium at Epcot. Like Epcot's the place to be, man.
You do have a whole aquarium, and that's always my, no one goes to the seas.
No.
I don't think anyone does. When you see the seas with Nemo and friends, you're like, oh, this is just the Nemo ride and that's it. But no, you got to go all the way to the left, following no signs, to go into this beautiful, huge aquarium.
Just
what's
skip
going
the
on with
entire
that? It's
Nemo
insane.
entrance. Yeah, the way I view the Nemo ride is almost like it's an entrance to the aquarium. It's a fun way to get into the aquarium, into the rest of that little pavilion. But like, not only do you have all the fish life, you have all of that. You have the Crush interactive show that goes on. That's super
Turtle Talk.
Turtle Talk. It's super, super cool. It's so fun, even as an adult, to just sit back and watch the little kids have like the time of their lives. It's so funny. There's always humor in there for the adults. There's so many other just little hidden gems in that pavilion. It's so underlooked. 100%.
And if you're looking for a place to cool down, I mean, that's where I go. It's usually not crowded in there. Very rarely is it crowded, and it is very, very cool, very temperate, opposed to being outside. Otherwise, I mean, if you're going to go, Living with the Land now has just become somehow so incredibly popular. Not that I don't like it, but it kind of has gotten to that status where people need to go on it now. Yeah. And it's a shame, because you used to be able to just walk on there, and now you're waiting
that's
for...
True. I didn't think about that weird like popularity boost. Like it is a cool ride, but
it got a huge popularity boost, because it is cool, it is neat, it's relaxing, it's calm. It doesn't like change much. You're still seeing the same stuff. I will say it's a different experience if you do it during the day or at night. At night's really cool.
In theory, it changes more than Soarin' does, Like, at least there's new plants that are there every once in a blue moon.
And they got the holidays. They dress it up with the Christmas lights. That's fun.
So that's great.
But, yeah, I mean, what are we talking about?
We're not talking about either of these rides. We're talking about Living with the Land. We're talking about the seas. And I think that is a whole fight in its own. We could pivot right now and do that. And I think we'll keep that, the Land Pavilion versus the Sea Pavilion.
We just get into an Epcot conversation here.
Which honestly, we're going to do so many Epcot episodes. It's already going to happen.
There'll be a few.
We just got to figure them all out and space them all out, so we're not talking about Epcot nonstop. But today, once again, we're in the World Showcase, which is almost an entirely different park when you really think about it. The World Showcase and the rest of Epcot, that's like two theme parks mashed into one. You can spend an entire day on World Showcase. You can spend an entire day on just one of these pavilions alone, and I will give that to both of them. I'll be talking some smack about France, but like, you could spend an entire day there. I could spend an entire day in Mexico. I could spend an entire day in any one of these countries, more or less. There's a few of the ones that are a little smaller than others, but man, if you got a ride, an attraction,
you could.
That's a full day.
Definitely eat all day in France for sure. You
and
have
Mexico.
Well,
come on.
We're in Epcot. We're talking about food. Well, let's get right to it.
Let's do it.
Let's get right to the food.
So, give it to me why eating yucky, gross snails in France is better than eating the food that I got over at the Mexican Pavilion. Tell me what's going on in France, because literally all I've ever seen people eat there are those little slug guys. What are they?
So I'm talking to a guy whose primary diet consists of Mexican food, bueno guisano, and burritos.
Well, okay. Well, it's fine. Like, that's,
this is your wheelhouse.
There's a reason I took Mexico.
It's your wheelhouse. It's your wheelhouse.
Tell me why my name is Bousquet. Tell me why I should like the France Pavilion.
France
Talk me into it.
French food in general is universally, I'm pretty sure, regarded as like the best cuisine in the world.
Is it?
I believe so.
How many French restaurants have you been to?
Epcot.
I've been to none.
They have the most Michelin-starred restaurants in France. All the best restaurants in England. The top restaurants in England.
That's not saying much, but sorry to our English listeners.
Are French restaurants. That's where all the chefs go to get their classical training. In France.
Name me some French dishes that they have at Epcot that maybe I haven't eaten at Epcot, but maybe I've eaten at other places.
Your palate's just not refined enough to.
Well, that's an easy argument, but like for the majority of people who are going to Epcot, who are going to be trying to find something to eat at that pavilion, how many people are actually going to stop by and eat something? Give me some examples of some things that you can eat there.
So braised beef and Cabernet. Baby onions, carrots.
Hey, that's good stuff, man. I'll give you that, dude. Like, that's great. It's a little bland, but that's fine. That's fun.
Oh, hey. I don't know about bland. Seared salmon, braised heritage pork shanks.
That sounds like everybody's dream.
Oh, it is. It is. Then you want to get into and this is just Chez de France.
Okay.
Their main restaurant there. France is a place that has actually 2 restaurants. 2 full restaurants and a quick service.
Okay, that's fair.
So we got a lot of food options here. So that's just that. They got all the best cheeses, an unreal amount of different cheeses.
Yeah, the nice part I like about Disney is that a lot of their cheese products are not actually cheese. They're lactose free for all the people who don't want to consume actual dairy products.
These are all cheese. They are straight cheese.
And that's going to hit for some, and it's going to really hurt for others. So.
It's going to hurt a minority, I think.
I don't know if that's actually true. I think if we look at Mr. Dr. Boy, I think if we look up some of the science on that, I think there's I don't want to actually say a majority of people are lactose intolerant, but like, isn't it a thing that like most adults become lactose intolerant? Isn't that like a biological thing that happens?
I don't think so.
It's a very high number. Is that then?
So if you're lactose intolerant, you don't have lactase. You have to take lactase. The enzyme to break down. Some people are born without it. I carry that in
my pocket every time I'm at Disney. They're not just handing that. Are they handing it out in the France Pavilion every time I'm getting cheese? Then
you're a white guy. You're made to drink milk.
I am absolutely not made to drink milk.
Yeah, well,
milk will destroy this boy. That's why he stays away from
France. Has the 2 restaurants, and to be fair, Mexico does as well. Right? They got the indoor, the sand.
They have
Annabelle
3, and we'll say that they have 1 full dining and we'll call it 2 quick service ish, because there's one of them, the tequila bar La Cava is like, I think they have some food options, but it's not.
That's
not
fair.
expensive.
If you're talking about sit down restaurants, France has 2 great ones. One of them is a fixed price menu.
Okay, interesting.
It's $195.
Very hoity-toity.
It is, and Epcot is all about honestly playing pretend and pretending you're in that country. Let's be honest. That's kind of the point.
All right,
it's about playing pretend.
You kind of took a thing. I was gonna say it's a little hoity-toity. It's a little that's not fun, but you kind of flipped it on its head. I guess role play. You're
almost a little bit role playing. You want to be in that country. You're eating at that restaurant to kind of get a feel for that country, right? So you have the Mon Cher Paul. I don't speak French.
That's fine.
I don't speak French. We're gonna go with that. It's $195 but
$195. Wow. Okay.
It's a fixed price menu, and it's quite a few different courses. So you get your options of what you want, but on that menu, it's anything from and I'm not gonna bore you with the fish because I know you love the fish, but you got the rack of lambs, center cut beef. I can't even pronounce any of these things.
Center cut beef is tough for you to pronounce, sir?
Well, I'm looking at the French translation.
Give us the gist of
what
they are.
Well, it's in French on the
menu.
I don't know.
Oh, you're trying to translate. Google Translate's not doing a good job.
No, it's and like you said, the snails. You got escargot.
Okay,
and if you have not had at the food and wine booth, if you had not had like that escargot croissant, you are missing out 100%. That is just straight garlic in a croissant. It is so good.
Yeah, I think that's going to be for some and not.
There is a reason
others.
that the French booth is constantly the most crowded, popular booth at Epcot.
I think there's some other reasons why, and we'll get into those a little bit later. But
at that booth, no. I mean, that's strictly the food there is great. If you want to talk about the drinks there, that's a little different.
What do they got? They got primarily wines, I would imagine. At
the festival booth, it's primarily wines.
Okay,
we'll get into drinks. All right,
I
got some winners. I got some winners.
All right.
I know you got some guys going there, but I think I got some winners for the drink options.
Fair enough. I mean, as far as food goes over in Mexico, if we're going to stay on the food fight, I think Mexico has the best in this. You can play up my dietary preferences all you want, my friend. I will destroy. Chipotle owes me a sponsorship. Let's just say that. But I mean, come on. For the majority of people, other than I would say Canada, which has the most like American fare, well, other than the America Pavilion, has the most like American fare like food. I think if you're talking about the majority of people who are walking into Epcot, looking for something tasty to eat, Mexico all day, baby. Mexico is going to have what you need. They got the goods, man. What is better than getting a good, high quality, and I will stress that again, high quality version of some of those things that you have here in your everyday life, right? Like tacos, like burritos. You have all of the other sort of more high class Mexican fare as well. It's not just the quick service tacos, burritos. You got everything. You got enchiladas. You got some beautiful, beautiful queso that's made right in front of you when you're dining in Mexico. I think the food options are fantastic, and I think the majority of people are going to be down to eat them, unlike the slippery, garlicky snails. I think that's great, man.
I think you are so far from the actual truth there.
So far from the actual truth. You think that like every picky eater that's walking around at Mexico or like the Epcot Pavilion is they're gonna bypass the tacos and go straight to the snails, dude? Yeah, that's essentially what we are. We're talking about the people. We're talking about what people would like. This one, diz or that, my friend. What are they going to choose? They're going to choose the tacos all day. The majority of Americans are picky eaters. They have a tough time. I would say
try something new. Let's
that's great for you.
And
that is really adventurous. But there's a lot of new things that you can try in sort of a familiar realm within the Mexico Pavilion. I think that is like the safest bet for a lot of people, and that's a great way to start your journey into that world.
Are you saying a beef tenderloin is not safe? A safe bet?
I'm talking about the snails, and I'm trying to avoid some of the other. Trying to avoid some of your other dishes to just talk about the snails, okay? But I get what you're saying. But honestly, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff where, like, I'm not a big wine sauce kind of guy either, and I know that France does that a lot, and that's kind of my bias there. I don't want to put that on everybody because that's not necessarily a thing. A beautiful cut of beef is a beautiful cut of beef. I'll give that to you all day long. But dropping some red wine on top of it kind of taints it for me a little bit. I've gotten some great stuff, some great beef over in Canada, and that's great. But again, I'll give you the fact that it's not really adventurous. It's closer to American fare, so I want to be kind of at a wash in that regard. But, like, I don't know, man. The top-notch quality Mexican food that you can get over in Mexico, I think that's just a winner, man. It's portable, but it's also fine dining. It's everything wrapped in one.
I find myself passing the festival booth at Mexico.
And I think you're weird.
I do it quite a bit.
That's you're a guy who likes snails. I don't know. You know, food's a tough argument here.
I don't know. And if we're talking about the quick service options, which you're saying, I mean, you can get a baguette, a full baguette. Walk around with a baguette in France.
So just some bread?
Yeah, Mr. Bland.
Anything? Anything in
That's
it?
for
I mean,
you.
I'm a little more
That's for
excited
you.
than just a baguette.
No, the baguette is for you.
So here is what I want to talk about now. If we're bringing up quick service, okay, let's talk about quick service. Do you know what the quick service options are when you're in France? Like, what are the things that you can grab and go other than a baguette? Okay, sure, we can get a baguette. You can grab the snails, I guess, or at least during food and wine season you can. What are some other good like grab and go eats in France?
So if you're looking at the more like quick service, it's kind of like a bakery-esque kind of area. So it's less on the food in there specifically, but you can get your lobster bisque.
Okay, all right.
Which is my personal favorite.
Okay.
And I think that itself is a winner.
So lobster bisque. That's our big play
As
at the
a
quick
guy
service restaurant.
that likes lobster bisque, yes.
Hey, and I'm not arguing if it's from the sea, it's not for me. I'm not arguing that because I know a lot of people love it. That's awesome. My argument here is that a lobster bisque requires a lot more of an in-depth eating experience than a taco does. And if you are trying to grab a bite to get to your lightning lane or to get over to somewhere to wait in line, you want to grab a nice quick bite from a quick service. What is better than Mexican fare, my friend? A nice taco, a burrito, something like that. Easy to eat. You don't need a spoon. You don't need a bowl. You don't need a fork and a knife.
A BLT.
They got BLTs?
Yeah.
Okay, now you're making an argument. Now we're making an argument.
A ham and cheese on a demi baguette.
Okay, I mean, if
you're apples and cranberries on multigrain bread.
All right, we want to talk about Mr. Plain. This is all right. I switch my arguments to France. Here we go. Let's go there. How boring. How boring. I'm boring, but like,
okay,
come
here's
on.
one. How about a beignet?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, no. We just talked about Riverside.
It's hard for me. Yeah, but
French Quarter.
Who is doing it better? Who's doing it better? French Quarter or the France Pavilion? French Quarter all day long.
That's just different.
I'm going to put a poll up. We're going to put a poll up about that. We'll put up a poll up
it's different.
on who's got the better beignet.
You can get
and I guarantee
creme
it's going to be French Quarter.
And then, guess what happened? Another restaurant pops up. Another little quick service side place. The Creperie.
Crepes, I think you might have a bit of an argument here.
Crepes.
Crepes are cool.
So
crepes
good.
Are nice. There's a lot of good dessert options over in Mexico. You got some flan. There's a bunch of other like Mexican ice creams that you can get and things. I think that's great.
Are we missing an entire ice cream shop in France as well? I think we are, because they got that. And what do they have there?
That's super special? What do they got? Let me know.
What do they have?
Yeah. Tell me what's special about it.
So this is what I like specifically. They take a brioche bun. They cut it in half.
Oh, I did see this. I watched this today. Okay. Continue.
You get your brioche bun. They cut that in half. They put your scoop of chosen ice cream flavor on it. They drizzle some sauce on it, whether you want chocolate, raspberry, caramel. They do it in little Mickey shapes on the bun. They do it all. Then they close it, and then they waffle press it.
Neat.
And then you have a warm bun with a cool ice cream center. Oh my gosh, that is the best dessert that Disney has.
I can't argue it, because I did see it today, and I did mouth water for a hot minute. So, I get it. That country really likes their sandwiches, don't they? Essentially, everything is just like something in
I actually
bread.
don't know that, but they got a lot of bread options.
I mean, we were just talking about baguettes and ham and cheeses.
They got bread.
Now we have ice cream and bread. So I get that. But I mean, like, come on, man. Like, I think a more fun experience. I'm not saying that that's not great, because that's definitely on my my list of things I'm grabbing next time we go to Epcot.
It's very good.
It's absolutely it. But like, I don't know, dude. You can get yourself a churro and some Mexican ice cream over at Mexico and have a grand old time. And like, if we're talking about like a bread-like substance like a churro and then some ice cream, I think a churro is gonna beat a brioche bun all day long, man.
I think that's weak sauce.
I don't know, dude. There's a reason that churros, I mean, like, churros are everywhere, but there's a better quality churro in Mexico.
You're not going to
There's a better quality over there.
You're pulling out the churro argument.
You're pulling out the brioche bun argument. Come on, man.
Yeah, I am.
Come on,
It's a great argument.
So is the churro argument. Literally, I honestly
Get a
think
churro anywhere.
versus other Disney treats could be an entire debate that we have.
Well,
Like,
get a
come
churro
on,
anywhere.
man. Sure, but can you get it in Mexico, bro?
Yeah, I can.
Dude, that's the best, getting it in Mexico. Like, that is it, dude. Get yourself that. Get yourself some Mexican ice cream. You get yourself a taco, a burrito, something like that. You got a well-rounded meal. And we haven't even talked about drinks yet because, like, come on, man. We got king of the beverages over in Mexico. I don't know if you want to fight this fight, but
you're gonna hit me with margarita, but I think
I'm not just gonna hit you with margarita, sir. I'm gonna hit you with like a million different kinds of margaritas.
I think I can.
What do you got?
Take that on.
All right, let's hear it.
Oh, hit me with the margarita. What are you gonna say with margarita?
I'm just saying, you got every version of margarita. You got like every flavor that you can possibly imagine. Not only do you have a regular margarita, but you have a frozen margarita. And I think that's kind of my trump card
so
today.
You got a margarita. You got
frozen margarita on a 95-degree day while you're walking around Epcot. You're absolutely dying. You want to have an adult beverage, but you also want to get yourself cooled down, right? What do you do? Where else you going? You gonna get like a mediocre, like lukewarm wine somewhere else? No, dude.
That hurts because
you're
not thinking.
You're
not in your right mind.
Frozen margarita.
You're not in your right mind because you know what beats the frozen margarita 9 times out of 10, and you can put that poll up because you're gonna need it because this is probably the most popular Disney Epcot drink. The Grand Marnier slushy.
Never heard of it. It sounds like it wants to be. No, I have heard of it. But I looked at it today, man, and you know what? I did not see it as a problem for me today.
It probably is the number one. It probably is the best one. The best. You got numbers? Drink.
You got numbers on that? We can put a poll up. We'll see where the poll's at on that one. But like, come on, man. I don't know. You're not beating a frozen margarita. Are you serious? Everything else is trying to be a frozen margarita.
I bet that would win.
That's the OG, man.
Frozen margarita. I think it would win. And if you don't like tequila, you're done. If you like tequila, you're done.
Dude, come on.
Say bye to tequila. I know many people that get sick off tequila. Can't drink it.
Well, some people have done that to themselves, all right? Like, let's be real. It's the best form of adult beverage that you can have. It's very, very nice. It's the only one that's an upper, not a downer, right? That's why they have an entire place dedicated to just tequila. And when you go inside the Mexico Pavilion, you got that beautiful tequila bar, man, where you can get so many different kinds of tequilas. I don't know who's been hanging around France, but weren't the Breaking Bad guys just hanging around pretty recently, throwing some tequila around, having a good time there? They got celebrities in the Mexico Pavilion.
Don't they own a tequila company?
They do, and they were handing out free shots to people. But all I'm saying is, what other kind of draw do they have over in France? Have we heard about anything that's even similar to something like that? I'm not going to hold you too hard to that to make the Mexico Pavilion is better than the France Pavilion just because of that. But like, man, that is a fun experience.
It's got a good competitor with the slushies that they do there. They have the lemonade one.
Is there an entire quick service spot dedicated to those slushies? It's pretty much that.
Pretty much, that's what you go there for.
And you can have tons and tons.
You can get some wine there, but I mean, pretty much you go for that. What adult
beverages inside of that slushie?
Inside of it?
Yeah, what are we working with? Or is that an adult beverage, or is it
Grand
just a
Marnier, and I think vodka.
Okay. Do they have the ability? Do they have like every vodka known to man available to you to have in there? That tequila bar has got like every single tequila that you could ever have.
And you get the tequila flight, experience. And you're spending $40 for flight tequila.
You're spending it anywhere you go, man. $40 is actually a great deal, dude. So, like, let's be real.
You're not.
You could spend that anywhere in the U.S. for that kind of a thing. Let's be honest, but you want to sample all those tequilas. Some of those tequilas are going to be super, super, super expensive. And what's a better place than to go to somewhere like that who can have all of those bottles of tequila there for you to be able to try, for you to be able to do a flight? I don't think there's an experience like that. I mean, maybe there might be a wine one I could see in France somewhere. I don't know if there's a wine tasting experience over there, but like...
Well, they got plenty of wines, and then they also have the King of Champagne.
Okay.
Mr.
Is there a champagne?
Perignon.
Okay.
Which is only available in France.
That's fair. That is fair.
And if you want to get a big name champagne like that, but you don't want to break the bank, you can get a little cup there. Just like you can try some mediocre tequila.
I wouldn't say that many tequilas. You can't. You just it's a non-factual to call them mediocre. Like
It's
there
fine.
has to be the sheer
Tequila,
number of
though.
tequilas. Tequila is not just tequila. If you're gonna say that, like we can say that about anything,
Tequila's
right?
tequila. I don't.
Yeah. You threw out 9 bread examples at me. Bread is bread, bro. Like we know that's not
That
true.
is farce.
We can't have that argument. Tequila's not just tequila. If you're a tequila fan,
That is a farce.
you know that they're all different, right? Bryan Cranston could tell you all the differences between the tequilas. The dude knew what he was talking about. Like, let's be real. That's a fun experience. That's a cool place. I think it's great. Having the ability to have margaritas with any form of tequila, to have all of those different tequila drinks in general, because we've only touched on margaritas and that's it. We're not talking about tequila sunrises or anything else that you can get there.
Jeez.
There's tons of different forms of drinks that you can get made from tequila. Great experiences, great times. I think for me, the drinks are far more fun over in Mexico. There's kind of a theme to it all. Like, I think that's a great time.
Yeah,
I think that makes a really fun
if you
drink
want to
experience.
go, if you want to go for class, head over to France.
That's too stuffy for me, man. It's not fun. You know, I like the fiesta environment that we're getting with Mexico, and we're going to go more into actual environment later. But like, that's fun. And every single thing that we're going to talk about, from food, from tacos, one of the most fun food in the entire world, to margaritas, one of the most fun drinks in the entire world. Mexico Pavilion just screams fun. France Pavilion, to me, screams hoity-toity. And that's kind of the thing,
You're
too, right?
sounding
You
like
just
a
said
little
it
bit of
yourself.
a francophobe right now.
I'm not a francophone. Justin Busquets. Like, come on, man. I'm good. I know what's up. It's fine. But I'm just saying, it's not fun. It's not that fun.
The French Pavilion is not a hoity-toity. It's just
you said it yourself, dude.
It's
That's
class.
kind of part of the experience.
It's class.
Hoity-toity class. It's a fine line, and
No,
I
it's
think
saying that about the
walking
$200 restaurant. That's
sure,
fine.
and that's
that one gets
again
a
that's
pass.
spilling out into
That one gets a
everything else.
pass.
I think that spills out into everything else.
I don't think so.
I don't feel very welcome in that pavilion.
It's a different culture. It's a different culture.
It's not the fiesta vibes that I'm looking for. That's what I want when I'm heading into a pavilion. I'm looking for a good time, man. Mexico's just got it. Mexico's got it, hands down. You know who else has it? You know who else gives you a good time? The Magic Candle Company. Let's hear a little bit more about our sponsors of today's episode, the Magic Candle Company.
Magic Candle Company themed fragrances allow you to capture the smell of your most cherished vacation memories. Set sail on a swashbuckling pirate adventure. Transport back to the tropical atmosphere of a beautiful South Pacific themed resort. Relive the excitement of a fun-filled day spent on your favorite dark water rides. Soar above a California orange grove. Embark on an exotic river cruise adventure. Recall that first bite of your favorite frozen pineapple treat. Escape to your favorite rocking chair overlooking a murmuring creek as you soak in the splendor of the great outdoors. Enjoy the scent that's beloved by foolish mortals and happy haunts alike. Or even recapture the nostalgic aroma of being a kid again, watching your favorite Saturday morning cartoons. All of this and more is just a click away. Visit MagicCandleCompany.com and escape to your happy place today.
Receive 15% off. Discount code DEBATE.
Let's dive back into this. Chris, do you have anything else to talk about as far as the food and drinks go? I got a little bit more as far as dining experiences go, but I want to make sure that we wrap this up and we get all the out before we move on to some of the other points of these pavilions.
I don't know. That's what I got.
That's fair, man. I mean, dude, let's talk about one of the greatest restaurants in all of Epcot. It is literally on people's bucket list to go there. And I've been turned away several times now that I've been there trying to get in. Didn't get a reservation in some of my earlier experiences at Epcot. And we're gonna have to make it happen again. But the San Angel Inn, the overlooking the water, overlooking the Epcot ride, that restaurant in the Mexico Pavilion, I think is one of the coolest. It is literally on people's bucket list to eat in that place.
I've eaten there, and
I think that's
good.
That's an incredible experience, man. I think
it
as far
is
as what you're looking at view wise, to overlook
it
the
is
ride, to see all of that,
experience.
it looks magical. It looks romantic.
I will definitely give you that one because it is probably my favorite restaurant itself. just because of the atmosphere there.
There you go. And you can't beat it.
You have the one thing that I think France doesn't really have for their pavilion, which is air conditioning.
Air conditioning. Yeah, this is kind of the next point, and I think this rolls
really cool place
into the next point that I want to fight. Air conditioning was honestly one of the things that I had in itself, but the entirety, I think the bigger argument to be made for the Mexico Pavilion is the fact that it is an entire like indoor pavilion. There are outdoor elements to it, but you really only have like the margarita stand and kind of the quick service restaurant, little bit of other things, but not too much. Everything else is indoors. And like, man, again, 95-degree day. Whoo, that is incredible.
It's cool.
That's cool. Awesome.
I'll give you the temperature.
It's incredible.
One.
It's incredible. And I think the best part about it is the ability that it is themed, and it is themed to a nighttime atmosphere. And it makes sense, right? Most people, when they're out and about, when you're living in the Mexican culture, you are not going to be out and about during the middle of the day. It's going to be way too hot. So you're going to be a little more lively at night. That's where you're going to have your fiestas. Siestas are for the daytime. Fiestas are for the evening, baby. You're out in the market, man. It's all themed. It's all dark. It's fun.
Oh, you're taking some liberties here, but that's fair.
No, that's real. I looked that up today. That's why siestas happen during the daytime. And the whole reason for the pavilion being themed tonight is because that's when people are out and about, and that's when they typically explore the markets and they have the fiestas.
Well,
that is why it's themed that way.
It makes sense.
Yeah, that's 100% why it's themed that way. They wanted it to be true to that culture, and when the most amount of people would be around is once the sun started to set. So that is why it's all dark and dim. Yeah,
it's way too crowded. It's way too crowded. You cannot.
Depends on the day that you go. And I mean, dude,
days.
Let's not go there. And I want to talk about rides later, but like, come on, dude. The traffic backup that happens for France because of Ratatouille, one of the more popular rides that's available at Epcot. Like, come on, dude. We can't argue that. That backup happens a lot. And this is also why you're seeing a lot of foot traffic at some of your other restaurants, I think. It's because people are just in that area already. They're waiting for Ratatouille. They're waiting to get in. 100%.
That is a whole different section they built for Ratatouille.
And where do you think they're going to go, dude? When
you can't even get over there.
If you're waiting for a lightning lane to pop off, if you're waiting for other stuff, you're hopping over there. If you're just getting out of that ride and you just spent 2 hours in line and now you need some sustenance, or you're going to like jump into the lake, like, come on, man. You're going to eat one of those nasty snails and you're going to move on. It's a crowded pavilion too. Like, I think all the pavilions are fairly crowded.
Have you ever had escargot?
We don't need to keep fighting this fight. We
you know that said snail.
Yeah, you just
brought it up.
It's nasty. I'm gonna keep dogging on it, man. It's my right. Okay. If it's slimy and slippery,
it's not slimy or slippery.
Well, whatever. Okay. I don't want to eat it. I don't want to eat snails, bro. I'm an evolved human being.
You're gonna eat it next time.
I'm absolutely not gonna eat it next time. That's gonna be a terrible day. Oh God, no, this ain't happening.
But it is indoor. And it is crowded.
And it's as crowded as any other pavilion, I think.
You can't walk around.
I don't think that it's any less spacious than any of the other pavilions. It's set up in a way that's very reminiscent of a Mexican market, but that's like kind of the point. That's kind of the fun. I don't think that weight stands. And really, when you kind of think about it, right? Like, there are some areas to go into other places, but there's like a similar amount of room outside on that main drag and that main walkway to a lot of the other pavilions. So like, I think it's all equivalent. I don't think it's taking
Mexico is also a bottleneck. It is always so tight there. It is tight. Fine. I think that takes away from it.
It's the beginning of the loop or the end of the loop. So sure, it's at a little bit of a disadvantage just because of where it's placed within World Showcase. But I wouldn't take that away from the pavilion.
They made it way too tight there. It's tight. You go inside. It's tight in there. You'll leave. People are coughing. Everyone's coughing in there.
Oh yeah, everybody's coughing at Disney anyway. These are all points that can be fought at any other place, any other pavilion.
Then you're indoors.
Sure, and we're a couple of years away from COVID now. If you feel uncomfortable, you have the option to wear a mask, my friend. Do it up. That's totally fine. That's totally fair.
To stop in there, cool down, take a step out.
Hey, if you don't want to be there, by all means, go to France. I'll be in Mexico. That's totally fine. But I think, dude, like, how else are you going to cool down, man? Grab yourself a margarita, head on in, enjoy yourself, right? That is a great place to go. I could spend an entire day in that building without question. No problem. No problem. As a big guy down in Florida,
we're going to test that. We're going to have you spend an entire day in the Mexico building.
100%.
I would like to see how you fill your time in that building.
Oh, easy.
Out of curiosity now. Now I'm just
easy.
curious.
Just with the food options that we got there, we got a ride in that building, plenty of shopping and fun things to do. You can just literally sit there and watch the glass artists, I'll call them, the glass makers, where they're making the little figures in there. You could watch that for hours, dude. You could watch them work for hours. I literally
would like to test that theory.
I spent 20 minutes watching a YouTube video of somebody doing that. Like, I'll spend an hour sitting there watching that, 100%. I'll spend 2 hours at La Cava. I'll spend another 2 hours at the San Angel Inn. I'll ride that ride about 1 million times, man. We can move into that argument too if we want to. We can go ride for ride. And you know what? I think a lot of people might think that I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage, but dude, nah. I think I have the superior ride all day. You got anything else you want to fight about my air-conditioned, beautiful building? Or you want to move on to another topic?
I don't think that if we're going to be talking about Three Caballeros, it's a classic ride.
It's a classic.
It's like, it's fine. It's something you're going to do.
It is a classic.
But I'm not going to do it every time.
Dude, why would you not? It's an easy on-off. It's similar to living with the land in that sense.
Not always.
You can get on and off.
It's getting one of these renaissances where...
You know why? Because it's great.
No, because they're going to shut it down and they're going to switch it up soon. That's why. Everyone wants to ride it before it closes. When
have they announced that? Did they announce it yet? No. So we can't build that into the argument if it's not legit.
That's what everyone's thinking.
Bob Iger didn't say that it's happening. It ain't happening.
It's going to happen.
Okay, well, we can speculate on that all we want to, just like that is fifth gate at Disney.
Fair,
but we can't bring that into an argument.
Completely fair speculation.
It's popular now. It's more popular than it's ever been. People love it, but it's still an easy ride to get on when you want to. Like, I think that's a fun time. It's all of the great parts of something like It's a Small World without being so grating and as small world as It's a Small World is. It's virtually Mexico's Small World, which is awesome. And it features a main Disney character. That's incredible. One of the big boys. Not one of the other IPs. Yeah. One of the big boys. You got Donald in there all day long, running amok. It's incredible. It teaches you everything you need, not everything you need to know about Mexican culture, but it teaches you a lot. I don't want to say that. That was a weird argument I was going to make there. I ain't going there. No way. But it teaches you a lot through that ride. It's a very educational ride. It's not just a fun IP based ride that doesn't really give you any substance. It actually gives you some substance and some insight into that world, into that culture. It sets the tone very well, whether you want to start your experience at the Mexico Pavilion with that ride, cap it off, or do it anywhere in the middle. It's perfect. It's not one of these things like I think Ratatouille, where it's kind of like, man, you bet if you want to ride that ride, you want to go to the France Pavilion, don't waste any time at the France Pavilion beforehand. Get right in line. You're going to want to hit that ride up to make sure that you get to it. Make sure that you can get through that line. Then you can explore the France Pavilion after. I don't like
so popular. That's why.
Which sure, if we're going to argue that that's a problem with Three Caballeros, then that's a problem with Ratatouille, right?
And it may be a problem because it's just too good.
What's good about the Ratatouille ride?
Technology, trackless ride. Boom.
Trackless rides break down a lot. They have a lot of Wi-Fi and RFID issues
Ratatouille
that we see.
Does a good job and does not break down nearly as much.
It breaks down a fair bit.
Not nearly as much as something like Rise or these multifaceted
I won't say that,
things.
but at least the trackless ride systems probably break down an equal amount, because that's not the main problem with Rise of the Resistance. Rise of the Resistance has 18 other sorts of reasons why that ride breaks down, but like the trackless ride systems are pretty on par, I think. I don't think that the Ratatouille ride, it holds up.
It holds up well.
Sure. How old is it? It's not that old yet. Like
exactly.
Sure.
It's perfect.
Yeah. So talk to me again in a few years, because the problem that I have with Ratatouille is that it is a fairly screen-based ride. And if I wanted to go see a movie, I can go see a lot of movies. And I'm not saying that it's a bad ride, but it's a screen-based ride that
No, I don't really like Ratatouille. To be honest with you. I can't even argue it. I don't have a fun time with it.
I'm
bailing on this one because I This is like definitely a leave it ride for me, unfortunately.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm being a little harsher just because like I'm trying to win the fight here against an older ride versus a newer popular ride.
No, I think there's some really cool elements, and I'm not saying it's a bad ride. I'm not going to go out of my way to ride it right now.
That is fair.
If there is no wait and I could walk on, if it's so empty there that I can just hop on the ride, maybe I'll do it.
Sure.
But I don't like glasses on a ride.
Yes. I think that's one of my big issues, especially as a glasses wearer already. That is one of my main issues.
I don't like glasses.
The majority of Universal experiences is sort of the weird 3D with the glasses. Glasses on glasses don't work. In the screen-based rides,
need to do it.
I do think that Ratatouille does a very good job of doing a screen-based sort of a ride like that. Like I do think that ride was fun, but some of it was a little wonky. Some of it's a little
what
weird.
It is. It's good. It's fine.
Sure,
it's fine. I think for a Ratatouille ride, I think it's neat to do that for what it was. It does have this feeling that you are. And it's very cool, and especially the practical sets that they have there.
I will say the practical parts are the best parts of the ride.
Very cool when you actually are very small and there's these giant things like in Toy Story Land.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. That's the coolest part of the ride. The screens are fine. I also don't love screen rides, and it's like watching a movie, and it's fine.
Yeah,
but that definitely is not my top 5 ride in,
sure.
It's not making the top 5 in Epcot
Would you put Three Caballeros higher than Ratatouille, or would you still put Ratatouille higher than Three Caballeros?
That's tough.
It's almost
I will go on Three Caballeros a lot more often.
And that's fair. And it is an easier ride to get on, so it's a little hard to judge.
I will do it also
standpoint.
for the air conditioning.
Hey,
I'll do it for the air conditioning.
That's fair. It's a way to get air conditioning, have something to look at, have something to enjoy without having to like wait in that line.
It's fun. It's happy. It's upbeat. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Ratatouille's a little scary.
Yeah,
I feel chased. I don't like that. It puts you into the mind of a small rat. I don't love that.
Yeah, a rat running around a very food-heavy pavilion.
I will say
that's the whole argument with that movie.
The queue definitely is. There's a better queue than there is at Three Caballeros. Three Caballeros doesn't have a queue.
That's fair.
Up. That has a good queue. Ratatouille has a very cool queue, and it kind of like shrinks you down in the queue. The floor tiles get bigger. Remember that?
Yes,
that's pretty cool. So I think that one wins. When you're walking through like the city, you see the buildings and stuff. It's really neat how they do that. So I like that.
I'll give you that. Where like the queue itself is definitely better from the standpoint that it's a newer ride. It's kind of the newer queue experiences versus some of the older queue experiences. The only argument that I could possibly have there is that just like the entire Mexico Pavilion is kind of your queue. Like you have enough to look at there where it's still very themed. It's not just like your and not to take away from one of my earlier arguments in our series here, but like, the Haunted Mansion queue, it's cool because you get to look at the Haunted Mansion, but it is a very basic, it's an old timey queue. Like that's a very classic, not a lot to look at. Peter Pan, I think, is probably a little bit better of a queue just because like there's some stuff on the walls to look at, but it is just that old switchback style. So I get it. It's Living with the Land, right? How much queue is there really with Living of the Land? Not really super themed there either.
No, that queue
I get it.
Tough.
It's a switchback. Inside the
great.
pavilion, and I don't think that pavilion, while it's really cool, I love the Land Pavilion. I don't think it's nearly as like fun and themed as the Mexico Pavilion is, and especially because
it's not.
It's a Mexico-based ride, so like it all works a little bit better than I think something like
it does work. The fact that you take the ride past, the dining area, past the tower thing, volcano, whatever.
You got the volcano in the back. Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. That's cool, and then it takes you on your little duck journey, which is fine.
the downplaying of my ride, my little duck journey.
It's
just
good.
a classic
It is
Disney
a little
adventure, baby.
duck journey.
It's a small world-esque classic. You know what I'm saying?
It definitely is. It's showing its age a little, especially when they show like the actual people on the screens.
Some of the screens, but they have updated to like HD footage and HD TVs, so things are better.
It's moving.
We'll say that, you know, the chances of Donald as an animatronic working are slim. I think the cardboard cutouts are gone, but I know that the animatronics were completely replaced with just static cardboard cutouts for a hot minute. So
they had
that
to.
was a thing.
They had to.
And I get it.
Got to repair those things. Those are older than dirt.
I get it. Yes, and that's some of your issues with some of those older animatronics and stuff. You're definitely gonna have to repair them.
Yeah,
probably more than some of the newer ones.
Is as much of a classic as it is, I would love to see them implement Coco into Mexico.
I'm down. As much as I'm fighting this argument, I do think that would be fun. I do think that it is sort of at its age where it can be rethemed, and I'm feeling pretty good about that.
It should be. It should be at this point. You know, let's bring it in. And I bet a lot of people, you know, the traditionalists, the Disney traditionalists are like, keep it all the same. But
yeah,
that's not the vision.
As long as you have that initial scene with sort of the volcano and everything sort of looking, you can like update it maybe.
Yeah.
But like I would keep that probably as close to that as you can for the fact of the pavilion and the restaurant.
That needs to stay the same. But
everything else I think can go.
Epcot is a place of progress. Let's bring in the new. You know,
that's fair.
They put Frozen in. They weren't shy about tearing down that.
Yeah,
you know, putting in Frozen. So
putting that in there. And I think that like it would be cool to see what does a 20, you know, I don't know what year they would actually end up putting this in, 2025, 2026, something like that. But like it would be cool to see what a dark water boat ride would kind of like look like. You know, what would a new version of that look like?
It doesn't even need to change that much. I don't think they need to really. I think just adding some new animatronics, some new characters, making it, you know, the Day of the Dead theme for Coco and putting in some Coco songs. I think that itself would be great. I think I'd love to
see some new technology, something else. I'd love to see some wow factor that we can get in there. Some cool, maybe not projection mapping. Projection mapping's been done a lot. It'd be cool to see if we could utilize projection mapping in a new way to do something else. But like, I always like every ride to sort of have a one-up technology than anything else that's being done.
Right? Do something
just
new.
Something new.
That's fair.
A retheme is great, but like little boost in the ride, I think is extra fun. That's that ride. I don't want to beat that ride to death because like that's a toss up. If you like Ratatouille, of course, Ratatouille is a new ride.
Some people love Ratatouille.
It's a solid ride, man. Like
it was in France first, and how long was it in France before France came to Epcot?
Quite a while. I imagine. I forget how many years it was, but it was delayed a little bit. So it was one of the criticisms people had of it was that it was showing its age when it did debut. But it's fine. I think it is really impressive. The sizes of those screens that you get, you know, as much as I'm saying that we're watching a movie when you go there and let's just go watch a movie, but it is impressive and it is neat. The glasses thing, I think, is my biggest downside to that. But again, I don't want to beat a dead horse too bad here. I think there's a lot of other cool stuff about the Mexican and France pavilions that we can kind of chat about. Chris, what else you got? You got any other major points? Anything else that's sort of like a big deal for France that maybe we haven't touched on? Maybe something that Mexico might not have?
I don't know. If you're talking about the other entertainment options.
Yeah, let's do that.
You know, I don't have a bunch here, but
what does France have? Yeah.
So they have the France movie.
Okay.
I don't know if you've done that.
I have not done that.
Low-key popular. It is almost like a very beautiful art film about France. It's Impressions de France.
Is that in a standard style movie theater?
It is kind of, but it's more like a widescreen.
I think they were doing something else there. I think this is all kind of popping up. I think they were showing Beauty and the Beast or something else. Like they were showing some other things there as well. So that's interesting. And I do like that. If you're going to do like an actual like theater experience with sort of a made film for the land or for the pavilion, it is cool to do other things with it, like throw in some other stuff going on there. So that is neat. I'll give you a point there. If you're doing a theater, do a theater. That's cool.
So, well, they have that, but they do have the Beauty and the Beast sing along.
Okay, that's probably what I'm thinking of.
So you're probably thinking of the Beauty and the Beast sing along as well. There, that is not something I've actually done.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. As like 30-year-old men, that totally tracks.
Unfortunately,
we'll put it on the list of things that we'll have to do.
But impressions, I think you would like. It was
sure.
That's an OG. That's a 1982 park opening attraction.
Interesting. Yeah.
So that's been around for a minute.
Sure.
That's been around for a minute. Beauty and the Beast, I actually don't know a lot about. I know that the kids in my family that do go do it have a great time doing it.
They love it. Yeah.
They love it. But
yeah, I don't think we have anything like that over in the Mexico Pavilion, so I really can't.
I believe they use the same theater though, and I'll just alternate between the two.
That would make sense. That would make a whole lot of sense. And that's kind of my point, like, for it. Like, I think that's cool. I think that makes sense. It kind of varies things up, especially if it is like an opening day attraction. Like, you might as well, like, sure, you got to keep it. People want to go see that, but it's cool to vary it up a bit. So
the fact that they can switch it up like that, I think that is a very good idea.
Opens them up to anything new. If there's any France-based IP that's in the future, like, that's a cool easy way to throw stuff in there, right? That's exactly what we were seeing when Frozen was so popular. There was like Frozen sing-alongs at Hollywood Studios, like, immensely, and that was just an easy, let's get this into the park. So cool. Can't knock it. Are there any other entertainment options that you have over in France, or is that kind of it?
France,
any music,
no.
anything like that? That's kind of where we are at with that. I just don't know a lot about France. Yeah,
nothing else too significant there. At least not that I can think of. I think Mexico. You have.
This is kind of where we were leading here. Was
one year, and I was waiting for you to say this one.
The music options, I think, are just great. You just have a lot of like mariachi and traditional Mexican music that's available sort of outside a lot. I don't know if they roam around. I would imagine at some point they probably tried to at least.
Cobre, is that what? That's what they're called, mariachi. Cobre.
I think that is the main band that's there. I know they've varied things a bit, and they've had some other people kind of in and out of there, but
they do have a few different types of setups there. They will do like the I don't even know the names of the instruments, but they switch it up a few times. They play primarily there during the COVID event. I don't know if you remember that 2020 when they were doing that. They were playing at the theater, the American Theater.
Oh, interesting! I didn't know that.
They play on the stage. Yeah.
That would make sense, kind of get them away, because they are very personal. And when we were in Epcot last, we hung around for quite a while and watched them perform. And man, that is a very intimate, very, very cool music experience. Not that it's super different than, say, some of the other pavilions that have music. You are able to get a very intimate experience, but like, almost having no stage is very, very cool. It's very, very on your same level.
Well, they really don't have a lot of other really great music options there. They have the Voices of Liberty in America, and really, what other music can you think of?
I think was it Germany? Was it the Germany Pavilion? We saw
they have the
Germany
bands for the
last
festivals.
time we were there.
So that's pretty much only for the festivals, unfortunately.
You have okay, sure. Is the UK Pavilion, I know that they have a stage. Is that only for the festivals as well, or do they have stuff all year round?
Know that. I know the German bands, they come for the festivals, but for for England, I'm not sure if those guys play
England or
all year.
I think it was England, right? Because it was kind of in the Ireland area as well. Like they
have, and if you go in the back in like the garden area in England, go towards the back, they have the band there. They have the Canadian stage as well, which is Canadian bands. They usually always have someone. So there are more than I'm thinking of.
I think was it Morocco or somebody has one as well?
Morocco, you're right.
Yes.
You're right. So there are actually more than I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
In Italy, you have the mime, so you got that going on too.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. It's fun. It's fun to have that kind of varying entertainment like that.
You do, but geez, we're missing the Chinese dancers. Yeah, them. The Japanese taiko drums.
Sure. Yep. Yeah.
I'm missing a
seems
bunch.
like
I'm missing a bunch. Jeez.
I'm trying to think of like, it almost seems like every country has a sort of music or other sort of like entertainment like that, but does France have that?
They don't need it.
They don't need it.
They don't need it. The fact that
they got a lot of snails there, so that like that's their main attraction.
Say snail one more time.
Snails.
They don't need it. They have too many options.
Okay, there's too many things to do in France, so we can't entertain them.
They
in
added
either way.
one more thing; it would be too much, honestly. Then you're going to run into problems there. But
right, whatever. We can. Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, it's just a situation. I make it up, but I don't know.
The music in Mexico, I could, as far as I'm talking about staying at a pavilion all day, like I could watch that performance. How many times they perform throughout the day? I'll go to every single one of them. I will be entertained every time.
Definitely legendary.
We have footage of the last time when we were there, and we were there for the last time, and that was the first time that I actually like saw them perform, or at least like as an adult, I saw them perform. And I have footage of this where they open their mouths and sing in 3-part harmony for the first time, and I literally had this like guttural chest reaction of like, oh my god, like what? Like
they're
it
good.
took. Oh man, they are really good.
They know what they're doing.
Incredible.
They are the best for that reason.
Yeah,
and we say that a lot, but Disney doesn't. They don't hire.
They don't mess around, man. The mouse don't mess around. No, all their performers are top notch.
The best of the best that are going to be performing there, all the time, and from jelly rolls to mariachi cobra.
Sure, that's it.
That better be what they're called, because I've said that a lot.
I've said it a few times now. I think I saw, and I could be wrong at this, because I know that there was a the main character from Coco. I'm blanking on his name.
Miguel,
yeah. There was like a marionette-esque sort of character throughout the park, and I thought that they had him in Mexico at some point, like performing. I don't know if he was performing with live music or not. That could have been somewhere else in the park too, but at least hopefully that's at Epcot. I did not look that up. That would be really cool if it was, and especially if we get any sort of Coco re-theme in there, would make extra sense to have him come out and perform a song or two. But definitely something I either have seen officially or it's somewhere else in the park that they need to bring to Epcot.
No, Miguel does perform at.
He makes some appearances.
At Epcot, yeah,
makes sense.
So
it makes total sense. So there you go.
You got that.
All right. I'm starting to get. I don't want to say too thin, but I'm a little thin at this point. I think we have kind of touched a fair bit of the stuff that I wanted to touch in the Mexico Pavilion. I think to recap, obviously, you got the music, which is huge. You got nice quick service, and you have other sort of eat-in dining experiences that I think are just top-notch, from like, it's going to fit your picky eaters. It's going to fit your adventurous eaters. It's so fun. You have options to cool down when you're getting a nice cold margarita, or you can get yourself, a frozen margarita. You can go inside, get yourself a regular margarita, a little flight of tequila, something like that. Tons of fun shopping to do inside the pavilion as well. The pavilion, great themed, and let's be honest, it is the coldest, nicest pavilion you're going to be in. Top off that day with a little ride with the Three Caballeros, and man, I'm telling you, you got yourself a full day experience over at the Mexican Pavilion.
Yeah, I mean, literally all that, except replace it with the France pieces, and you got a great full day.
You're talking to rats.
You are just picking on the
fun.
very small things.
Hey man, you know what I didn't say? I didn't say snail.
How many people are walking around wearing a little Ratatouille on their shoulder? A lot are. Because they love it.
How many people are walking around with tacos and burritos, man, with a margarita in their hand? A lot of people, baby.
I've never seen a single person walk around with a burrito at Mexico.
With a margarita?
Margarita, sure, not a burrito.
All right, well, because they're so good, Chris.
No,
that they ate them so quick.
I've never seen that.
They're so good, they ate them so quick.
Never seen
That's
it.
why.
Never seen anyone walk.
But you've seen them walking around with a margarita, my friend. I bet you have. That's a big deal, man. That's how people like to start off their trip and end their trip, baby. Hitting up Mexico with a margarita. I think France is a decent pavilion, but I think they got some work to do.
I don't know.
I think they need some entertainment there. And you know what? At the end of the day, man, you're slinging slugs, dude. That's all it is. You're slinging snails. So.
They're different experiences. It depends. I think France has more for you. If you're looking for the world's top cuisine, you're going to go to France. You're going to get it there. You got your options. You got your ice cream. You got your Dom Perignon. You got your Grand Marnier slushy. You have your Kronenbourg 1664, great beer.
Okay.
First of
all
all,
right.
I mean, we didn't even touch that.
Well,
but
we didn't even touch beer options.
A great beer. So
sure.
Leave that to some thought there. If you want to stroll through the streets of Paris but don't want to fly to France, then you can do that there. They give you that option.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's I think they're both very well done pavilions for what they're coming at. For me personally, I'm still taking Mexico all day. I don't think you've changed my mind enough on this one. And
if you
I think it was one of the ones that I was
some Dior perfume. And a nice handbag, you can do that there.
Yeah, it's just nothing's appealing to me over there. In that way. It's fun. It's a good time. I like to go visit and pass through, but like for me, I can't make a day out of it like I can in Mexico.
Well, you know what?
And I'm happy if you can.
I think next time you're down, we'll actually kind of live this out.
We're gonna buy 2 tickets to Epcot and we're gonna both go like 2 full days in each pavilion. That's how we're going to spend our time.
We're going to do it, and
let's do it.
We're going to see if we'll do a live from there. We'll do a live. We'll do a little vlog. What do they call it? Vlogs?
Yeah.
They call it a vlog. Is that probably not?
It a vlog.
Vlog.
It's a vlog, man.
So we'll do a little vlog style about. And I think, if I can find some more air conditioning for you, I think we'll find that you might like. Come with your experimentation shoes on, and we'll see what you like.
I'll be ready. I don't know if you're gonna get me to eat slugs, but like I'll try. I'll try to will myself to eat some snails. We'll get there.
Slugs and snails are a little bit different.
All right, Mr. Biology. They're weird.
That's not even biology. They're 2 different words.
Well, it's
2 different words.
Fine. Get out. It's semantics.
Are all about the snails today. You're all about the snails, and you came into it. You came into it with the snails on your mind. You're leaving it with snails on your mind. So there's no change. There's no change. You failed.
Well, I'm a tough cookie to crack. I'll say that. But like, I thought you had a decent opportunity to change my mind today, and it didn't happen. I didn't know enough about the France Pavilion coming in. I feel like I have a fairly good knowledge of it, and I think most of what I thought was correct.
It's just not for you. It's not for you.
It's not for me.
It's not for you.
And that's why I'm fighting for Mexico all day, every day. And if we do one of these again, I might just have to take Mexico again. I think that's how much I believe in it. It'd be fun to fight some other countries, but we'll have to figure this one out because I foresee us doing a very big World Showcase series where we're going to put all these head to head. We're going to put out some polls. We're going to see which ones come out on top.
We'll do the tournament.
I think the tournament's going to happen. I think a World Showcase tournament is going to happen. That's where everybody else is going to come in. We need to know which one should we do next. Which Epcot Pavilion should we pit up against each other? You can throw out too if they're still Mexico and France. I don't think those are totally out of the running on the things we're going to do next. But like, we would love to hear what you think would be really great matchups for the World Showcase. A lot of options, a lot of things to do. Make sure to go to our Instagram and our TikTok, Diz, D-I-S, or that pod, Diz or that pod. You can find us both there. You can also find us on YouTube if you want to watch the video versions of this podcast. Check us out there. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to give us a thumbs up. Do all that fun stuff. Or you just want to listen to audio, go check out any of your favorite podcasting apps. We are available there. Just really, really, really grateful that you're joining us. We're really, really grateful that you've been checking out this many episodes. Episode number 7, Chris. Episode number 7. We're here, man.
Moving
7. On to number 8.
It's like 7 hours. It's like a full work day.
It's a full work day. You can listen to us for an entire work day. You don't even have to take a break at lunch, I don't think. I think it'll fill your entire work day. And if you listen next week, and you got the ride home as well. So can't wait. Hope you guys tune in next time. Again, make sure to go check out our social medias for all of our other links. You can check out our polls there, and you can check out our disc code for the Magic Candle Company, our sponsor in today's episode. Thank you all for joining us here at the Diz or That podcast. The happiest debate on earth, everybody.
This podcast was brought to you by the Magic Candle Company. Relive your favorite theme park memories through the magical sense of smell. Receive 15% off at checkout by using discount code DEBATE and help our channel in the process.